Hey everyone, I'd like to warmly welcome you to the AI Engineer Bootcamp, where we'll build the foundations of AI and gradually advance our knowledge to eventually create our personal, exciting AI-powered projects. Developing an AI tool might seem complicated for a newcomer in the field, but let me demonstrate how, with just a few lines of code, we can achieve incredible results entirely from scratch, precisely what you'll learn to do in this course. In this practical lesson, we'll build a chatbot that answers questions about Introduction to AI, the first module you'll encounter in this bootcamp. But I'll set the bar even higher. My goal is to implement the chatbot's backend and user interface in only 5 minutes. Ambitious, isn't it? We'll employ the popular LangChain Python library to implement the backbone of the application and the Streamlit Python library to create an elegant user interface with minimal code. So let's see if creating an app in 5 minutes turns out to be too bold or, in fact, completely achievable. The timer starts now. Our demonstration begins with implementing the backend of our Q&A chatbot in Jupyter Notebook. We've already prepared the transcript of the Intro to AI module as a PDF, so our first task is to load it. LangChain provides just the right tools to make the task straightforward and returns the file as a list of documents. Now, let's split these documents further, ensuring each contains no more than 200 tokens, corresponding to roughly 150 words. This will help feed the chatbot the shortest text possible during the Q&A stage, optimizing the application's cost. Good! Next up, we must transform each document into an array of numbers, also known as vectors or embeddings. This transformation, also called embedding, would later allow our chatbot to quickly find the text most relevant to the question asked. So let's initialize an embedding function by OpenAI to perform this transformation. We'll use it alongside the list of documents to create a Chroma vector database that keeps all vectors in a local folder. I'll call the folder Intro to AI. Now, having the vectors at hand, we'll initialize a retriever. The task of a retriever is to find the document most relevant to the question asked. So, if I invoke it with the question, "What did Alan Turing do?" the retriever is expected to fetch the document most closely related to that topic. Let me print the response for a better look. Indeed, we obtain the desired document. The retriever performs flawlessly. Next comes writing the prompts. This is critical in the chatbot creation process because prompts instruct the model about its intended behavior and purpose. Notice the keywords with the curly brackets? They represent input text placeholders, making the prompts reusable. A reusable prompt is called a prompt template. Our templates expect the user's question and the retriever's context. Next in line, we initialize the language model. Let's opt for OpenAI's GPT-4o and set the temperature to 0, ensuring similar answers each run. We also need a so-called string output parser, which guarantees the result will be output as a string. And here's the most intriguing part: implementing the chain, the most important LangChain construction. Its purpose is to link components by passing the output of one as an argument to the next. What we therefore do is store the question and context in a dictionary, feed the dictionary to the prompt template, pass the resulting prompt to the language model, and feed the model's response to the parser, ensuring the final output is a string we can print out. Okay, everyone, let's test the chatbot by asking the familiar question, "What did Alan Turing do?" To stream its response, we must apply the stream function and use a for loop to display each text chunk continuously. The moment of truth. Fantastic! We've successfully streamed the response. Moreover, we can be sure that the chatbot uses the context drawn from the lecture rather than its general knowledge. After all, a response to the same question from ChatGPT would be much lengthier and formatted differently. So, we've just created an extraordinary robot, right? Still, as impressive as it is, we need to wrap it up in a nice package and give it a user-friendly interface. It's time to introduce Streamlit. Our source code starts with essential LangChain and Streamlit imports. The next couple of lines must look familiar. First, we instantiate an OpenAI chat and embedding models. We then initialize a string output parser, a Chroma vector store, and a retriever. Note that we'll use the Intro to AI local vector store created earlier. Following that, we have the system prompt, instructing the chatbot about its purpose, and the prompt template, which expects the question and context. Finally, we include our chain. Now comes the Streamlit-specific part of the code. We begin by setting an intuitive title for our application. I'll go with 365 Q&A Chatbot. Let's also add a divider to separate the title from the rest of the elements. Next, create a text input field expecting the question. Let's now check the progress. Type Streamlit Run, add the name of the source file, and hit Enter. Fantastic! All looks good. Now, let's get working on generating and displaying the response. We create a button labeled Ask, responsible for triggering the streaming of the response. If the button is clicked, we proceed with a second if statement to verify that a question has been filled in. If not, we display a warning message. Please type your question. Let's make the warning more visual with an appropriate icon. It's important to sanity check the process frequently. Selecting Ask without filling in a question indeed triggers the warning message. Nice. Continuing the implementation, let's now assume all text fields have been filled in. We therefore create a text placeholder and an empty string that'll shortly store the text. Next, we apply the stream method on the chain object just as we previously did. Inside a for loop, we append each chunk to the string defined earlier and use a suitable Streamlit method to display the string generated so far. And that was the final line of code. Okay, we didn't quite nail the 5-minute mark, but still, I think we performed excellently. And hey, sometimes you've got to let the moment take over. It's now time for the ultimate test. I'll save the file, return to the browser page, and refresh it. Let's finally ask the chatbot, what did Alan Turing do? Selecting Ask, and there we go, works flawlessly. How cool is that? This is the type of project you can build after completing the course. Even if some of the implementation felt a bit advanced, don't worry. That's where the fun begins. You'll quickly pick up all the necessary skills with careful, step-by-step guidance. We'll kick things off by exploring AI's history, key concepts, and those all too familiar buzzwords. From there, we'll dive into a module on Python programming, ensuring you'll have the coding skills you'll need to move forward. Next, we'll discuss natural language processing and large language models in depth. We'll cover essentials like text processing, classification, vectorization, the notable attention mechanism, and how transformers have revolutionized language models. After that, we'll work with the powerful LangChain Python library, learning how to create AI-powered applications seamlessly. As we progress through the bootcamp, we'll reach a module on vector databases. Here, we'll combine theory and practice by conducting semantic searches with the popular Pinecone vector database. Then comes an exciting module on speech recognition. In this section, we'll explore the basics of sound and speech theoretically, setting the stage for the practical part where you'll use machine learning and AI to transform speech into text and back again with Python code. We'll wrap up with a fascinating module on applied AI engineering. These lessons will guide you through planning and building an AI-powered tool, precisely an interview simulator for a data scientist position. OpenAI and Streamlit will be your trusty companions on this adventure. And that's the game plan for our bootcamp. So, what are you waiting for? Let's jump straight into the world of AI-powered applications with a module you're well familiar with, Introduction to AI. Enjoy.